The people are represented by two separate and equally important groups. The police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Wow! What a concert!
Marvin, that was wonderful!
Oh my God!
I'm so glad that you forced me to go with you.
I know heavy metal isn't for everybody.
No, it's not. I thought I was going to get a headache like I usually do.
I have another surprise for you. The lead singer is my sibling. That's how I got us such great tickets.
Oh my God! I thought he looked a lot like you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, you might have thought it was strange, a day trader taking you to some warehouse out on the docks for a punk rock concert.
Yeah, I kind of did wonder why you wanted me at the warehouse. It seemed like kind of a funny place for a date.
Well, anyway, this is where the band comes out after the show.
Good.
My sibling should be coming out any minute now.
Where is Chris?
Oh, wait, there she is. Chris! What a great show! Come here, Chris! Hey, you were so great! You were amazing tonight!
You made me like heavy metal!
Thank you. Yes,
Oh,
that's what I
good.
wanted.
She is the lead singer of the band. What's your band's name again? I always forget.
Heavy metal too.
Heavy Metal 2! The sequel!
Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful to finally meet you.
I love it. I love it. You're with it.
Chris,
Oh my God.
Chris, your new song. I mean, what was the title of that song again?
I want to do it over again.
I want to do it over again. I have a real repetitive sort of motif going on.
Over and over again. What's that special thing you do that makes the whole crowd go
You know,
wild?
I make it vibrate so everybody can feel it.
Well, Veronica, those moves are running the family. Well, hey, I mean, that was a great concert, but kind of a creepy locale, huh?
I know. You know, it's really suspicious.
Yeah, it seems a little bit dangerous.
That's what I was thinking,
Someone
too.
could get mugged or...
Murdered or...
Oh, God! Don't say the M word, Chris, please!
I've heard tell. I've heard tell.
Yeah. Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Chris! Look, he seems to have potentially been killed by that object laying next to the body. What is that? What is that object?
You know, that knife is very obvious, okay?
Oh, yeah, that knife is too obvious. It's not. No, that knife was there before. This is a common household object that's not normally associated as a weapon. What is it?
An iron.
A what now?
A hot iron.
A hot iron.
Oh my God.
That's awful. Chris, you gotta go back into the venue. Get a guard. Get a security guard. Find some help.
I'm going.
Everyone, please. Get a round of applause. Oh my God, Veronica.
Oh my God, it's horrible. An iron.
He's dead.
Lights are a little spotty. I'll see if I can work on them.
Thank you. You work fast, officer.
I know a guy in power.
What do we got?
Male, 27. Seems the murder weapon's lying right next to him. A hot iron. Careful!
What about that knife there?
I was there before. That's the first witnesses on the scene where I debriefed them. That's in your report. And then I gathered the rest of the witnesses here for you. Everybody who was here close to the scene, coming out of the concert.
Great, thank you, officer. All right, people, settle down, settle down. My name is Detective Alvarez. That right there is my partner, Detective Tice. Now, I understand that some of you might have some information about my victim here. Now, I can't really interview each of you one at a time, so instead we're going to have you yell out your answers at the count of 3. Do you understand?
Yes.
At the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
All right. Now on to the real questions. Does anyone here happen to know the name of the victim? 1, 2, 3.
George.
What was that? John. The most rare of names. What about a last name? 1, 2, 3.
John.
Did I hear Doe? We have a John Doe here, guys.
All right, very good. Now, second question, I'm going to count to 3, and then you answer. Does anyone here happen to know John Doe's profession? 1, 2, 3. I heard something over here. What was that? Let's give it to me again.
Tour guide?
A tour guide. Thank you very much. Good?
I'm good, my bachelor. All right. Now, does anyone here happen to know who John Doe here was with the last time they were seen? Yeah. Good on you. 1, 2, 3.
Jane.
With Jane. His wife, Jane Doe. That's right, Jane Doe. What do we have, Tice?
All right. We got John Doe, 27 years old, tour guide, last seen with a wife, a Jane Doe. Killed with a hot iron.
Well, it seems the clothes are going to be wrinkly tonight.
Jane Doe's apartment, 25th and Main. Sorry.
No, well,
I
I'll
still
help you.
feel... Are you sure he's dead?
Yeah, we checked the pulse, we checked the big burn mark on his face.
Look, Jane, carry about your business, keep folding your laundry, all right? I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Okay?
Jane Doe, we noticed he wasn't wearing a ring.
Well, it's a little complicated. See, he's a tour guide. And he realized if he came across looking single, the ladies would typically tip him a little bit better, you know? So
That's
we had
what
an
he
agreement.
told you?
That's what he told me.
Sorry to say, but that sounds a little suspect, Miss Doe, or Mrs. Doe.
I mean, he would bring home a wad of cash every night. What was I supposed to expect from that? These ones are going to be wrinkly. I can't find my iron anywhere.
I have to say, Mrs. Doe, you don't sound very distraught about your husband being dead.
Well, it's hard to be distraught about somebody you're just roommates with in a way.
Oh, it's a marriage of convenience, huh?
He pays the bills and I do the laundry.
You mentioned the iron. You happen to know where that went off to?
Last I saw it, it was in the closet, and then, come to think of it, yesterday John asked me about it. Strange, because I'd never seen him use an iron in his life.
What kind of tour was he doing?
He was doing a tour of the Empire State Building.
That's a distinguished lack of irons in the Empire State Building. That's an odd question to ask for a tour.
I mean, usually he would just wear his clothes just like normal, but this time, I think he was trying to get his suit out of the closet. Here's the empty garment bag.
You mind if we take this as evidence?
Sure. But...
Hey, you know what? I heard there's a convention in town. You know, a lot of people from Europe. Maybe he was giving a tour to them, you think?
Maybe. That sounds about right. He gave me a whole list of names that he was saying. I didn't understand a word of it. I thought he lost his mind like usual.
Europe.
I'm up.
I know that. At the Jacob Jevons Convention Center, there were a bunch of Europeans meeting there.
I guess we're heading there.
The Jacobs Convention Center, downtown New York.
Ich bin eine Fraulein.
Oh! Hi! Gordy! Jockeys!
Ma'am, can we please speak to you over there? You're the organizer of this event, aren't you?
Yes, right away.
Thank you. Over there. Away from these Europeans.
You speak American, huh?
Yes.
I don't notice an accent. What is an American doing introducing Europeans to our country?
I have a business to run here, okay?
Look, you know this man? John? Last name Doe?
He was our tour guide yesterday. Why?
John Doe? What is the matter? He is such a good man. Doe, a dear.
Yes, everyone very much enjoyed the tour last night. I will say, he was very fancier than usual. Usually he's pretty casual, but he was in a very nice suit. Looked like he was going somewhere real fancy after. He actually was saying he was late for something and rushed out of here real fast.
Did he happen to mention where?
He said he was meeting someone very important for dinner.
Very important. These people aren't important. They're from Europe.
They're very important. They're my customers. We love you so much.
Do you have any idea, any hints of who he was going to meet with?
Well, he's been talking about this guy, Jeremy,
Irons. Jeremy Irons. I pulled his lugs yesterday, and he made a call to a Jeremy Irons right before he died.
I don't know if that's enough to go off of. I mean, there's tons of Jeremy Irons. Perhaps one of these people know. Could one of them say something you translate to us?
Ja, hat eine Freunde mit einer Gabel hat er.
Oh, ja.
Bitte, it's eine Frau, nicht eine Mann. Nein, Mann, Frau. Frau.
Right, so Jeremy Irons is a woman. That's what we're saying?
Ja.
To get a little bit serious here, he'd been asking for advances on his pay. I think he was running into some money trouble. This Jeremy guy,
Gal.
Gal.
Frau.
Apparently helping him out, okay? I think they were going to this steak restaurant
On 5th and
on Fifth Avenue and
Rockefeller.
Yes.
That's right.
come on, let's go.
Fifth and Rockefeller.
I don't know, man. Just, the wife didn't seem distraught at all that he was dead. He wasn't wearing a wedding ring, and then he was going out with a frau. This smells fishy to me. me. I think that's maybe the wife's doing. Maybe she caught him with the Frau and took the Frau out of him.
You know, that's a good point, Almy, but you saw her. She didn't really seem like the murdering type, right?
Well, no, she didn't, but, I mean, if I were to catch my woman with, what's German for men?
Manfrau?
Manfrau. If I were to see them with a manfrau, I don't know what I would do. I mean, the passion of love is just it's so overwhelming. You know what I mean? It makes you do crazy things.
I mean, that's a good point, but I don't know. I feel like this one has a good heart. And I've just, saying that after doing so many cases, I don't think she has it in her.
It's always the wife. It's always the husband.
You care to put 20 on that? All right. So is the manager ready to speak to us?
Well, of course, officer. Would you like to have a table?
Yeah.
No, but we'll take some of those bread things you have.
Stevies or whatever.
Bruschetta.
Hey, bless you.
You're the manager?
Yes. I am the owner
Thank you.
/ manager, Jeremy Irons.
This man here, we know that he was here with you the night before he was killed. Or the night he was killed.
I was so sorry to hear about John's passing. Look, if I might talk to you, please go to the front door and lock it.
You seem to be talking to,
Look.
oh, okay.
I was talking to John to become a replacement for my maitre d'. You see, I went on a tour of John's. He was the best damn tour guide I've ever met.
Yeah,
And I saw something in him.
Okay, people keep saying he's so great. What's so great about him?
You'd have to meet him.
Yeah, well,
A little late for that.
He directed people from point A to point B with such grace. And that was about it.
Miss Irons, you're speaking about John very professionally, but was there anything more between the two of you? You ever sample his steak, is what I'm getting at?
John and I shared a night of passion, if that is what you mean. First,
Porterhouse.
first we shared a porterhouse steak,
They also call that a porterhouse.
followed by the passion fruit ice cream.
They don't
It
call
isn't
that a
only intended for one person. There's strictly no sharing of desserts at this restaurant. But John found the bathroom instantly, and I was so impressed, I made an exception. And so I pulled out the spoon that I keep here, and I shared the ice cream with him. After that, we made our way to the freezer. Look, don't tell my husband, please.
So there's, Mr. Jeremy Irons, okay.
His name is Jenna.
New York City morgue. Detectives, I ran a full screening on the body. No surprise. Combination of blunt force trauma and burns to the head and neck. But I did find something strange when I analyzed the hot iron. It was far too hot. No appliance would ever get that hot. You're looking for someone with some electrical expertise, someone who knew how to rewire this iron and to make it into a deadly weapon. What's more, I found a fingerprint.
On the iron?
That's right. Not the residue of a fingerprint, a literal fingerprint. Your murderer burned the schmackies out of his hand, or her hand, on the bottom of this iron. You're looking for someone who's missing a fingerprint on their middle and index fingers.
Oh, you mean an
A
actual...
literal, the skin melted off.
I did not understand until just now.
Yes.
It seems like it's too burned for us to get an ID on it.
I tried to run DNA. It's been burnt to a crisp.
I need to take this for evidence.
Of course.
Alvarez, you know, we got that one snitch. You might be able to give us a lead.
I thought I'd never have to go talk to Ratso's gang again.
If we're going to find someone with this kind of electrical expertise, I think you're going to have to speak with Ratso and the gang.
All right, I'll go find him.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a lot of John Does to attend to.
More than one?
Not literal John Does, just a bunch of John Does.
Right. Ratso's gang alley. Where are they? Oh, there you are, all of you. Ratso's gang. You misfits. I know you've been informing for us for a very long time, and I'm going to need your help one more time. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the only way I take help is by you yelling out the answer after I count to 3. All right? You're down on the street, your ear's down on the ground. We found this fingerprint, and it belongs to someone within the circle of people that John Doe might know. Does any one of you happen to know a person who's very good with electric items? 1, 2, 3. What was that? Ratso himself.
Tesla.
Tesla. Yes, and what's the name of the person that works at Tesla? 1, 2, 3.
Michael.
Michael. What's the last name?
Musk.
Michael Musk. Michael Musk Keaton. Thank you. Now stay out of trouble.
The apartment of Michael Musk. Be careful, everything is rigged around here. I take a lot of work home with me, officers. I work at an electrical power plant. Sometimes they need someone to test the electricity to see if it's going from A to B.
The Tesla electrical power plant, right?
Yeah.
You ever...
Get you a beer?
Yeah, I'll take a chop top. Get it?
You're lucky I have one of them. Officer?
I don't drink on the job.
How come he does?
Just a little oil, social lubricant.
Mr. Musk, you ever seen this kind of iron before?
Yeah, I've seen it. In fact, I left some of my flesh on it.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is I'm not no stupid idiot. I know why you're here. This has to do with John Doe being dead. That iron's the murder weapon, and you found fingerprints on the bottom of it, and they're my fingerprints.
Is that a confession?
No.
So what is it?
It's me trying to come clean. I'm sick of being a part of the New York City underground. I want to turn over a new leaf. I'm not going to rig irons for people anymore who want to kill their lovers.
Oh. So you mean to tell me that you rigged that iron, that hot iron, to be hotter than it's supposed to be for a lover of John Doe?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Can you describe what she looked like?
Well, perhaps the name would be easier.
That probably would help. But also describe what she looks like.
All right. She's about this tall. I don't know, like brown hair. Could I please just tell you her name?
All right. Go on.
Jeremy Iron.
Let's go pick her up.
That's it. Thank you. Here's your beer.
Steakhouse. She's trying to run. Hey, hands up, hands up. Put the spoon down. Put the spoon down.
It's not worth it. Jeremy, listen to me. Listen to me. We know you did it, all right? But I understand the passion of love, okay? Take a look inside my heart, metaphorically.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it, I swear.
Jeremy, we know that you had your hands on the murder weapon. We know that you went to pick it up from that Tesla Michael Musk guy. All right? We know that you were seen with him the night before. You had motive, you had opportunity, and you are associated with the murder weapon.
It sounds really bad, but I swear.
Just give me the spoon. Come on. It's not worth it.
It's mine back. Jeremy Irons, you're under arrest for the murder of John Doe. 27th Precinct, interrogation room. Let's take you over here, Jeremy. Sorry, we had a little potluck earlier and we moved the table around.
Jeremy, you gotta give me something, all right? Look, I know that when you're in love with someone, you know, and you share ice cream with your special spoon, that anything they do can set you off. I understand it. Why did you do it?
I didn't mean to.
You saying it was an accident?
I'm saying I don't know how it happened. I got the iron. I intended to kill him. Yes, I went to that Musk guy. Do you know how much ice cream that guy eats?
Wait, the Musk guy or
Musk?
John Doe?
No, she's saying that she got the iron from Musk to kill Doe. But you didn't do it.
I got the iron, okay? I did. And I didn't intend to kill him, okay? I got the iron for him because he wanted his suits extra crisp.
So
Extra.
You're saying that you did it for love?
No, I'm saying that night, after we made whoopee pies in the freezer, I'm saying that as I was leaving the freezer, I slipped on a patch of ice, okay? I'm clumsy. It's a horrible secret. You're not supposed to be clumsy in the restaurant industry. You know my career could be ruined if that got out.
All right, so what happened with the iron at that point?
I had it in my head and I slipped. And I passed out. I don't know.
When you woke up?
Hey, Alvarez. I got some news from the lieutenant. So, two things. One, we got some video footage and it looks like your suspect was there at the scene. But we also listened to your recording, your tape recording of the arrest.
Right?
You forgot the rights, man. You didn't read her the rights. You can't use any of this.
Damn it. Thanks. You're free to go. Door's down.
She had a spoon on her. What else was I supposed to do?
It's copying 101, man. You're supposed to read them their rights. Do you know Burns and Steele are going to burn a hole through us? You know, the district attorneys?
You think she's, killed her?
I know she killed her. She said as much. What I doubt is that she tripped and the iron that just happened to be extra hot fell on his face and neck. Yeah. And then he was dragged to the docks. It just doesn't connect.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. You know, I think we need to go talk to that wife again.
I agree.
Jane Doe's apartment. Thanks for coming, officers. It's trash day. I'm just collecting all the trash.
Quite all right. Listen, we know that your husband, he had a little stake on the side, so to speak. Were you aware of that?
Might call it a steak. I might call it just a little bit of mashed potatoes or something.
You seem a lot more jealous than I thought you would be. Why don't you tell us what your relationship with your husband was like towards the end?
Well, like I said, it started to become like roommates. He would go to work, come home exhausted, and then say, oh, I've got a midnight tour to do, and he would just leave.
What about the beginning?
The beginning,
Couldn't have been like that the whole time. You're married how long?
3 years.
It's an awful long time for it to be bad.
It wasn't bad until the last 5 months.
Well, how was it at the beginning?
He was the best. He was always telling me where to go, what to do. He'd get me from point A to point B like that. That's how we fell in love. See, I was on one of his tours, Statue of Liberty, and he made everything feel like magic. He was so great. He could just tell you all about the height of the Statue of Liberty's crown. It was enticing. And I don't know, I liked that he knew where he was going all the time. He knew who he was. He knew what he was doing. I never knew what I'm doing, so I thought, hey, somebody was going to tell me where to go, what to do, what to say, who to be, and I thought that's great. 2.5 years after that, I realized it's not as great as it sounds.
So you're saying a man who can show people around the Statue of Liberty knows his way around a woman, huh?
Could say that, yeah. But, see, he was always telling people where to go, what to do, but he never listened to anybody else. He's thick-headed. And whenever I'd ask him questions about things, he would always just say, shut up. Oh. And I figured, all right, he brings home the bacon, I cook the bacon, it's all good.
Look, this other woman was telling us that he wanted really crisp suits, so she got him a special iron. But you're telling us that he doesn't listen to people. Why would he do that? Why would he ask her for this really crisp iron?
You actually listen to someone? Wow, that's a first. Maybe he wanted to make sure his clothes were extra crispy. I don't know.
Did he always want to be a tour guide?
Yeah, he said that was his dream. He said that he was born in New York, born in Brooklyn. He wanted to be here for the rest of his life. And I guess he was.
The apartment of Roscoe Colbash, the maitre d' that was going to be replaced by John Doe by Jeremy Irons.
Oh. Dun dun dun.
Well, I assumed it was only a matter of time until you gentlemen found your way to my abode.
Yes.
You know, I bought that painting in France in 2011. It's an original chessoir.
I don't know, maitre d's made enough money to buy chessoirs.
Maitre d's who work for Jeremy Irons do. That's why you can understand how upset I was when it seemed she was going to replace me with that John Doe.
You look like a man of taste. Obviously, you're a hard worker.
Yes, I am. Would you like some champagne? I'm sure you don't drink on the job, but I bet that one does. Sure.
All right, so keep going.
I was the very first maitre d' that Jeremy ever hired. In fact, the club and restaurant wasn't really doing so well until I became the maitre d'. I brought a maitre d' reputation from Europe when I moved over here. People actually followed me.
What the hell are you doing? I like a cup and a straw.
Anyway. All right, give it back. Anyway, I was so valuable to her. It was my doing at the front door, greeting people, that made the restaurant as famous and successful as it was. Oh, but then John Doe walks in. John Doe of the Long Island Doe. And suddenly, I'm yesterday's trash. Well, let me tell you something. I'm nobody's trash.
Ooh. Now, just to be clear, we have identified the killer, and that is your Jeremy Irons.
But I understand that you botched the arrest and had to let her go.
That's why we're here.
Yes,
Need
I
some
know.
dirt on.
You're wondering if I have some ironclad piece of evidence that would allow you to find her again, and maybe this time, oh, I don't know, read her rights before arresting her.
Yeah, I mean, you come off like some kind of Bond villain. Obviously, you got something like that, right?
Probably I do. You must hold the values of your American justice system dear, people. I come from Europe, where we have no rights.
Look, you better start talking, or these paintings are going to start coming down.
Oh. Oh. All right. Yes, I think I have what you're looking for. It's this cell phone videotape of Jeremy Irons killing John Doe!
That's perfect. It has battery. Let's go.
Oh, wait, Alvarez. I don't want to do this without the lieutenant's permission. I mean, I already messed this up once. If we're going to go in there a second time, I mean, this whole thing's going to be messy. Can we at least talk?
Are you two done in my home yet?
Yes.
Police precinct!
Tice Alvarez, my office, now! Well, between the missing Miranda rights, the reports of you knocking priceless art off the walls,
you gotta do what you gotta do, Lieutenant.
and the waft of alcohol off your breath, you two are on thin ice. What's that?
That's a cell phone with a video showing Jeremy Irons throwing an iron into the face of John Doe. 3 times.
As you can tell, the vantage point is through a telescope from across the street. You know, the guy we talked to, he didn't say how he got the footage, but you can only guess.
Well, I guess that's enough.
Look, Lieutenant, I'm sorry I forgot the rights again. Okay, it was a high-intensity situation, and it just left my mind. But can we go for round 2? Can we pick her up and do this right this time?
Let's do a little play acting to make sure you get it right this time.
Stop pouring it on, Alvarez! Gotta get into character, Lieutenant.
Detectives, what brings you back to my steakhouse? Whatever. Oh, Mr. Pina Colada, you want to be the star of it.
Sorry, Lieutenant, sorry. Stepped on the line. Jeremy Irons, you are under arrest for the murder of John Doe.
I didn't do it.
You have the right to remain silent. Sorry, I'm going to go through it because I don't want to address their questions or else I'm going to forget it. Everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Have the right to an attorney. Yeah, that part.
Now hold on, are you going to say yeah, that part?
Well, I thought you were going to say, okay, you have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Do you understand these rights as they have been read to you?
I do. All right, end scene. Good work, detectives.
Wait. Sorry, I just got a text message. Me too. Irons. She's in the wind, Lieutenant. My bank just deposited $50. We're going to sober him up and we're going to find her.
Wait, you mean to tell me that because of your bungle we got a murderer running out on the streets of New York? Find her and find her now!
The streets of New York, the docks. Jeremy Irons, come on out. We know you're here. I can smell you. Porterhouse, 24 ounces, extra A1 sauce. Come out with your hands up.
Hey! Mr. Doc, what are you here? You looking for someone?
Yeah.
Well, I saw a really, pretty looking gal. She put on a scuba diving suit and jumped in the water.
Damn it. You're in a free dive? Of course. We don't have time. All right. I'm gonna be in Milwaukee, okay? You go down there.
Hey, it's really cold down there, huh?
There you are. Stop. In the name of the law. Gotcha. You're under arrest. Oh. Everything you say can be used messing it up. So you keep going. You're under arrest for the murder of John Doe. You have the right to remain silent. Everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. Do you understand these rights as they have been read to you? Got it.
Intermission! The offices of the District Attorneys Jonathan Steele and Vicki Burns. Sometimes, Vicki, I just nail it.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But this one?
Anyway, we don't have to keep talking about my dating life. Look.
Not much to talk about.
Oh. About the Doe case. You have to admit, it's not very often we get a videotape of the murder actually being committed.
Well, we can use a win, especially against Crofton. But you know he's going to pull something.
You were in law school with Crofton, weren't you, Vicki?
I was.
I understand there was quite a rivalry.
You could say that. Here's a bit of the history.
More than just a academic rivalry?
A little bit of a romantic rivalry, maybe.
But that's in the past, and it really makes me want to beat him.
Well, we will. We have the iron, we have all the testimony, and we have the videotape. I don't even think Crofton can come up with some way to get out of this.
You know, it would be good to get a motive, though. You know, anything can happen. This is pretty much a slam dunk, but in some ways it's circumstantial. The jury needs to know why. Why would she kill the man she was potentially in love with?
Why does any lover kill their lover? It's jealousy. It's got to be either jealousy or money. He didn't have any money. I bet he was cheating on her.
Cheating on the person he was cheating on his wife with.
Maybe he was cheating on the person he was cheating on his wife with his wife.
I get a sense there's something we're missing. There's gotta be a reason. People don't just murder for no reason.
No, I understand, but you have to understand that sometimes just because a marriage breaks up the first time doesn't mean it's over. Mrs. Steele and I have been divorced and married 4 times.
I know. I've been to 4 of your weddings.
I thought your last toast was excellent.
Hey, I'm running out of things to say.
Look, why don't you go and talk to Jeremy Irons? She made bail, so she's at her home wearing an ankle bracelet. Talk to her and see if you could find out if she suspected John Doe of getting back with his wife.
Worth a try.
Apartment of Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy.
Yes?
It's a nice little ankle bracelet you got there.
It's heavy. It makes things more grounded.
Heavy like murder?
Excuse me? What happened was a terrible accident.
An accident? Why don't you remind me about how this accident happened?
You should know, Counselor, that I have the right not to incriminate myself.
That is correct. And maybe you could just tell me a little bit about your relationship with Jeremy. You know, why you're so sad that he's dead. Or John.
I am very sad for Jeremy. And I'm also very sad about John. What a horrible thing.
Why don't you explain to me why you had an extremely hot iron that was murderfied at the dock? Why would you be holding a iron?
Honey, Jenna. Jenna, the lawyer wants me to talk to her about the case. She
Now you care about my opinion?
Jenna, please. You know that what happened was an accident. I didn't mean to fall into his arms. You know I love you.
Less about the ironing and more about the freezer escapades.
Jenna, it was only because I was reminded of that night you and I spent the first time at the ski lodge when we were so cold. Jenna,
I'm so sincere when I look in your eyes. It's like
it was a one-time thing, I swear, Jenna.
I read the
convinced you to
deposition.
stay here.
You said it was a multi-time thing. You guys made whoopie pie and he ate an ungodly amount of ice cream. I don't even know why I'm still here.
Jenna, Do you mind if I ask you a question?
A spouse cannot be compelled to testify.
No, I'll answer. It's fine.
Isn't it true that you funded the restaurant that was your wife's dream?
Of course. Have you eaten there? Of course you have. She's brilliant. She's an auteur. She's a genius with a palate. Like a god. I mean, I would be a fool not to support her. That's why I fell in love with her. You know?
Jen and I strayed once, maybe twice. You're the only thing I care about in this whole world, Jenna. Please. Please.
Hot dog stand in front of the New York Supreme Court. Defense Attorney Harrison Crofton with Vicki Burns.
Healthy lunch.
Want some ketchup? I know that's the way you like it.
Ketchup on a hot dog? What's wrong with you? Are you from New York? Mustard, please.
You know, I never understood why people, some people, you, don't like ketchup on a hot dog. It's sweet, it's savory, it's delicious.
It's wrong.
You know what's wrong, Vicki? Going to my client's apartment and badgering them right in their house.
She let me in.
True.
You really think it's a slam dunk, don't
Are you gonna pay?
Vicki, I know that you and I had butted heads in law school, and I gotta say, you were a damn fine attorney.
You butted a little bit more than heads. Or do you just care not to remember?
Listen, I didn't want to bring up old wounds, all right? I wanted less and you wanted more. The way it
Yeah.
works sometimes.
I did.
And now, perhaps I'm going a little bit soft. But when I saw that you were going to be part of this case, I felt a little tinge of the past bite me a little bit.
Really now?
I almost didn't want to take the case. But knowing, seeing John, let's get back to you, Vicki.
I'm sorry I'm laughing, but I'm laughing.
We had some great times.
We did have some great times. And now?
And now you're going to lose this case.
Now you're going to lose this case.
No.
Oh, you think I don't know your client's motive? She can claim it's an accident all she wants, but there's more to this case.
There is more to this case, and I should probably tell you right now. I looked at a medical chart and records. She suffered from something called meat-induced psychosis.
Don't tell me you're going to pull a novel defense.
I sure am. The truth. We can talk about it with the judge in preliminaries. But I want you to drop this case, Vicki. I don't want you to be embarrassed.
Embarrassed?
You're going to lose.
You're the only one who's going to be embarrassed.
Judge's chambers, all attorneys present with the judge. Your Honor, this is ridiculous.
Your Honor, this case has merit. There has been other cases, like 2 other cases in the past 20 years, very similar profiles with meat-induced psychosis. It's all here in the medical records, and I have a medical expert going to come on stand if we take this to trial.
You are suggesting that she should not be held accountable for the murder of another human being because she ate too much meat?
It's not what I'm suggesting, it's what the evidence and the medical records suggest.
Well, please, tell me the entire theory. What exactly happens when someone suffers from meat-induced psychosis?
Your Honor, as laid out in the medical record, when certain people with certain genetic predispositions, and in this case, of course, the person here in question is an owner of a meat restaurant.
Exactly.
A steakhouse.
Your Honor, if she knew that she was exposed to this type of genetic impairment, why would she start a meat business?
She did not know, Your Honor.
I think that's up for the jury to decide, so I'm going to allow it.
Your Honor, this is ridiculous.
You know I'm a vegan and think red meat is bad for the environment, bad for people.
Your Honor, are you suggesting that we should just let loose anybody who commits a murder if they had a hamburger?
I remind you of who you're speaking to.
Madam Vegan. You have to understand that everybody eats meat. That was God's chosen plan. He said to Adam and Eve,
Tofu. That's what he said.
John, you're embarrassing yourself. As usual.
Your Honor, are you going to allow this defense?
I've already said I'll allow it. Why are we still here?
Thank you, Your Honor. Now we can take this to trial, embarrass you further, or perhaps we can cut a deal. I say time served, and my client is not guilty.
She's not even in prison right now.
Absolutely not. We'll see you in trial. New York State Supreme Court.
I'll get my own chair.
Thank you, bailiff.
The prosecution calls Manny Simcox to the stand, a frequent customer at the restaurant. Mr. Simcox, will you please tell the jury, all 106 of them, what you overheard the night of the murder while you were eating at the restaurant?
I heard Miss Irons say that she was on a diet.
Please, continue.
Well, you know, the guy she was with, John?
Yes.
He was making comments about her figure, and she said that she was going to try to do some stuff to, you know, get the hourglass.
Is it true that she was eating a filet mignon steak?
Well, yes, at the time.
Is it also true that after the filet mignon steak, she ate a hamburger?
Yes, that is also true. It seemed she was being a hypocrite.
And is it true that she was drinking beef juice?
That's a specialty there, yeah, it's really good.
After the defendant ate a filet mignon steak, a hamburger, and drank beef juice, did she lose her temper?
No, she seemed pretty cool, collected.
Did she froth at the mouth? Did her eyes turn saucer size and yellow? Did fangs spring from her?
This is a courtroom, not a theater.
I'll rephrase the question. Isn't it true that after eating all of that meat, she was calm, collected, and sane?
Yeah, I would say that.
I have one more question for you, sir. I understand that you're quite a carnivore. Is that true?
Hey, you know, I've been around the block.
You eat a lot of meat?
Yeah, I mean, it isn't my only steakhouse.
Did you ever kill anybody with an iron after eating meat?
I feel like I shouldn't answer that. That would be...
If you didn't do it, the answer I'm looking for is no.
Okay, Okay, no, I've not murdered anybody.
Counselor.
I have no further questions for this witness.
We're not done with you yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Mr. Simcox, please tell me and the jury, what is it that you do for your daily profession?
I sell different products to restaurants.
So you're a salesman?
Well, yeah. You know, I do stainless steel, copper. Sometimes we, have important ovens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good. I'm curious, Mr. Simcox, in your line of work, is part of your training also to analyze other people's mental states?
Oh.
No.
So it's safe to say that you potentially might see someone in a, let's say, state of despair, and you would not fully be able to recognize that state, would you?
Well, I didn't recognize in my ex-wife, so...
You didn't recognize it in your ex-wife? Is that what I heard?
Yes, no, I was a really bad judge of character.
A person whom you lived with for many years and married and were intimate with, and you still couldn't even notice a bit?
No.
So is it reasonable to say that perhaps you didn't witness it in my client? Yes or no?
Perhaps I was...
Yes or no?
Sorry, can you ask the question again?
I'll make it very clear for you. Are you 100% certain that the state that you think my client was in was the state that you presumed? Yes or no?
No.
No further questions.
The office of the Meat-Induced Psychosis expert.
Mr. Steele.
Yes.
Miss Burns.
You mind if I bring over a chair?
Yes, please. I'd like to keep him on the opposite side of the room. See, I'd like you to take a look at this chart. All right? On the left side, you have your beefaroni, your SpaghettiOs with meat. On the right side, you have your filet mignons with bacon wrapped around. All right? In the middle, you have a graph that explains the level of psychosis that each of these products can bring. You see, it's going up. All the way to the border.
Are you telling me there's really something to this meat-induced psychosis?
Yes, I'm telling you that Miss Irons, as far as I examined her, falls right there next to the porterhouse. 24 ounces, a little extra A1 sauce. It's definitely possible that she was suffering from this disease. It's very rare, but from my very expert examination, I'd say it's possible.
Is it genetic? Meaning if she had it, likely one of her family members had it.
I'd like you to take a look at this other graph. On the left side, you have the grandma. On the right side, you have the grandpa. In the center, you have a singular line that describes the amount of geneticism that this disease can potentially have. As you can see, it's a bell curve. That means that it's genetic.
One more question.
Yeah.
If it was genetic,
Yes.
in this bell curve,
Yeah.
right in the middle,
Yes.
and at any point in time, someone in her family would have eaten meat on this level, there would be a high probability of psychosis.
On the family member. Yeah, absolutely.
That's not exactly the answer we were hoping for, Doctor.
Yes, but don't you see? If she knew, or if anybody knew that she was susceptible to it, then she would have known what it would do. So she could have used it as a way to murder him.
Are you saying that Jeremy Irons was not the murderer, but the murder weapon?
Possibly, at minimum, if Jerry Irons or someone knew that Jerry Irons was susceptible to murder if eating meat, then who served her that meat?
Doctor, do you have any graft that might shed some light on this?
As a matter of fact, take a look at this graft.
Can you say this in court?
Yes.
New York State Supreme Court, the doctor on the stand. I'll get my chair.
So can you explain what you explain that this third important graph shows to the jury?
If you take a look at this graph, there's two sides to it. On the left side, you have the amount of, what was your theory again?
You are going to explain that if this defendant knew, or someone that the defendant knew, that she was susceptible to murderous tendencies and psychosis when eating meat.
She could have used herself as the murder weapon. Right.
Correct.
This is not the right graph, if you'll excuse me. This one has two sides. The left has a regular murder weapon, like a gun or like a knife. On the right side, you see the picture of Jeremy Irons. In the middle, there's the several lines that describe the possibility that she might have used herself as a murder weapon for herself to murder Jeremy Irons and her condition. And so on and so forth.
Counselor, could you instruct your witness to get to the point?
The point. See, there's one point right here that describes that, yes, it is in fact possible that she could have used herself as a murder weapon if she had known about the disease.
One other question. Based on your knowledge of the population that has this DNA genetic predisposition to meat psychosis,
Yeah.
what percentage of the people that you have seen was not aware of their own psychosis?
If you did.
Can you please tell the jury if it is a high percentage of people that would be aware of their own psychosis?
It would be a high percentage, yes.
No further questions.
Your Honor, the defense would like to call. Your Honor, the defense would like to call our own witness, Dr. Barbara Stanwyck, to the stand. Mrs. Stanwyck, thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Stanwyck, you are a professional medical doctor, specifically trained in mental states. Yes, a psychiatrist and psychology degree?
Yes, both.
From prestigious Ivy League universities?
Yes.
You have published many journals in the U.S. and abroad.
Yes.
Many lectures, books, yes?
Books.
Your Honor, objection. Flirting with the witness.
So, could you please shed some light? Could you please shed some light as to exactly what meat-induced psychosis is and does? How does it affect the brain of someone's personality?
I'm sorry to remind you, this is a court of law. Do your dating on your own time.
Well, you see, meat being primarily protein has an excessive amount of amino acids. And it's actually the amino acids that affect the brain, causing a dopamine flux, which then induces a temporary but very severe psychotic episode.
Thank you. And it is possible that someone could develop this problem later in life, not knowing they might have it at all.
Absolutely. Even 23andMe doesn't test for it.
What the heck? She doesn't even have a graph.
Having given the medical charts of my client to you and your expert testimony, it is in your expert opinion that my client could be one of those few that has no prior knowledge of this condition at all. In fact, she is predisposed to perhaps not have this condition known to her.
It is not 100% genetically transferred. It's a hit or miss. Also, yes, with age and hormonal changes, one can be more susceptible to meat-induced psychosis.
And the age and hormonal changes specifically of my client, correct?
Yes, that's true.
Thank you. No further questions.
Cross-examination, Your Honor. Do I understand you to say, Doctor, that it is entirely possible that the defendant does not suffer from meat-induced psychosis?
It's possible.
Objection, Your Honor. There's ample medical knowledge and evidence that she does.
Allow me to continue my questioning, please. Isn't it true that you had to attend 3 medical schools before you were finally allowed to graduate from one?
Objection, Your Honor. This woman's education history has no merit upon this case.
She's on the stand as an expert.
She has
Overruled. You may continue your line of questioning.
How many, Doctor? How many schools did you attend before you graduated from one?
3, but I chose to leave them.
Doctor, please say in the original language the name of the country in which you studied medicine.
Captain Danda.
I have no further questions.
Your Honor, we call the defendant's grandmother to the stand. Can you please state your name for the jury?
Louise Irons. I like to go by Louie.
Thank you so much, Louie, for being here. Can you please tell the jury what happened about 40 years ago after you ate a hamburger that involved a squirrel and a dog?
You see, it was the 4th of July. It was a barbecue.
And how many hamburgers did you eat on that 4th of July?
I believe I had 3 or 4 or 5. 5.
Lots of meat. And that is right in the middle of graph number 2.
Graph number 2?
Of the meat psychosis graph.
Yeah, so I had all these hamburgers. They were delicious. And by the way, I had double patties. Double patty hamburger with extra au jus.
Lots of meat going in that mouth.
Yes. So it was a barbecue. There was a lot of children there. There were people playing. My grandkids were there. Little Jeremy was there.
And then that stupid squirrel and dog ruined all of the food.
They did. They got into the food. They started eating it. And I'll tell you, I went in to try to break them up.
You got mad, didn't you?
I did. I tore the head off the squirrel.
You tore the head off of the squirrel.
I don't know what came over me. Next thing I knew, I had head in one hand, body in the other hand. This was twitching.
Objection, Your Honor. What does this testimony have to do with my client's
His
definition?
testimony has everything to do to show that it was clearly obvious that the defendant knew of the predisposition to meat psychosis when her grandmother went crazy and decapitated a squirrel.
It was an ugly day.
After that, did you go to the doctor and get evaluated?
I did.
And isn't it true that since then you have not touched another piece of meat?
I haven't touched any meat since then. I told my husband, I said, no more meat in this house. And I went like that.
No further questions.
Did you tell your family about this condition of yours?
Well, they all saw it.
They saw it, but did they know what happened? How old was my client when this occurred?
Oh, why, you was probably 12.
A young child.
Young.
And would you have shared with a 12-year-old, your own granddaughter no less, your mental condition?
Well, I didn't want her to see the way that I tore that head off the squirrel, but I couldn't help myself.
Yes or no? Did you tell her about your mental condition?
No.
So there's no way that she would have known about this history of yours?
I couldn't tell her. I was ashamed. I was ashamed. Oh, thank you.
No further questions.
Your Honor, the prosecution calls Jenna Irons to the stand.
Just a moment, please.
Grandmother Irons.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Jenna. Thank you.
Time for assault.
Mr. Irons, is it true that you and I had a conversation yesterday?
Yes.
During that conversation, did you confess something to me that you have agreed to stipulate on the stand today?
I did.
And even though it is the case that a spouse cannot be compelled to testify in a case against one spouse, you testify willingly without the force of the law bringing you here.
That's right.
Is it true that your wife knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that she did, in fact, suffer from meat-induced psychosis?
Yes, it's true.
How could you?
You're on!
Please instruct your witness to sit down.
That's lacked enthusiasm, Your Honor.
I am not here to be enthusiastic. I will remind you that I can send you to the prison.
Apologies. Mr. Irons, on the evening of the murder, is it not true that you witnessed your wife eating an inordinate amount of meat?
It's true.
Please describe in graphic detail how...
Relevance?
Your Honor, clearly the ravenous appetite with which she ate the meat leads credence to our theory that she charged herself with meat in order to bring on her own psychosis.
Objection, Your Honor. We cannot testify or claim to know the mental state of someone while they're eating meat.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Sustained.
All right, leave out the salacious graphic detail.
Jeremy has a voracious appetite. She's into Atkins. Flip her metabolism over into ketosis. That made her breath smell like acetone. So I kept serving her slab after slab of prime, dry-aged Wagyu beef. You see, she was testing it for a restaurant. She would never serve something that she wouldn't approve of herself. It's one of the things I love most about her.
Is it true also, sir, that the night of the murder, after she gorged herself on meat, you saw her exit the premises with this expression on her face?
I'm sorry, I was looking away. Can you do that? I'm canny.
How long have you known your wife?
7 years.
In that time,
12 months. That's 8 years. We went through the last year once only. 6 days, 4 hours. 2 minutes and 36 seconds.
In that time, is it fair to say that when you've seen your wife make that face before, she always followed it with an action of evil?
No, that's usually just a klutz.
Sir, is there anything else you would like to say to your wife, whether it's relevant or not to this case? A little leeway, Your Honor.
I made you. You and I together built that restaurant, and you turned your back on me. Now look at you.
No further questions.
Office of the District Attorney. Well, counselors, I was in the back of the courtroom today.
And? You did a good job?
Well, I think you're 90% of the way there. I mean, the video clearly establishes that Jeremy Irons is the murderer, and you did a good job showing evidence that she was aware of her meat-induced psychosis.
She ate enough meat to turn herself into a weapon.
Huh. There's still one thing I think you're missing if you want to get a conviction from this jury.
I don't see it, Franklin. What?
Well, we know. She was a lover to John Doe. They spent hours in the freezer. Why did she kill him? Why would she kill someone that she was having a torrid affair with? What's her motive?
I'm saying I think it's because John Doe was getting back together with his wife. Classic jealousy.
It's not enough for you to be saying that. I think we need to hear her say it. I know it might be a bit unorthodox, but I think you need to get her on the stand.
She's right. Or he's right. I've been feeling a little bit weary. I kind of believe her.
Believe her?
I kind of believe that maybe it was an accident. I think she was used as a weapon.
You believe her? Or you're going soft on the defense because...
I'm not... Don't bring him up.
You think I didn't overhear that conversation by the hot dog stand? Where is your sympathy, Vicky?
You've got a job to do. You can't let personal emotions get in the way.
I'm not. Call her on the stand. I'll get it out of her.
New York State Supreme Court. Mrs. Doe on the stand.
Mrs. Doe, thank you for being here. Can you address the jury and state where you were the night before your husband was murdered?
I was at home doing his laundry.
Where were you before? Were you not at the Iron Chef restaurant with him?
It was our 3-year anniversary. Yes, he had taken me there to Iron Chef because he said that they make the best porterhouse.
And when you were there, did you notice anything between the defendant and your husband?
Yes, I did. I noticed that they would be sneaking wistful looks across the room to each other. I noticed that she sent over a free bottle of champagne. I noticed that he got this silly, giggly look on his face when he saw her. The look he never gave to me.
And how did that make you feel?
Jealous? Angry?
Were you aware of any specific condition from the defendant?
What kind of condition?
Meat psychosis. And I asked this because, funny, as I was looking through the phone records, it seems that you and the defendant had quite the friendship. How many calls do you see here over the past 2 months?
More than I can count. They say, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. If I kept tabs on her, I knew, well, at least my husband wasn't out with some other floozy.
Where were you on the night of your husband's murder around 3 p.m.? Somewhere near the Iron Chef?
Somewhere on that street, yes.
And in this Exhibit B, is it true that you purchased a porterhouse steak for $84.23? Very expensive steak.
Yes, that was me.
And who did you share that steak with? Was it the defendant? You are under oath.
Yes, it was.
So is it true that you purposely fed a porterhouse steak to the defendant in order for her to kill your husband?
I found the ring in his coat jacket, okay?
He was going to propose on top of the Empire State Building.
The ring was there, a beautiful diamond, and inside the engraving, Jeremy and Johnny forever. He did it with Amico and Johnny.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Your Honor, in light of this new testimony, the defense has no questions on it.
Would you like to proceed to closing arguments?
I
Are
will.
you ready?
Your Honor, at this point, we would like to drop charges against the defendant and bring charges against Mrs. Doe.
The trial of Mrs. Doe, New York Supreme Court.
Please, we call the defendant to the stand. Well, it's been 6 months of this trial. It's all but certain that you fed steak to a woman you knew would go ahead and kill your husband, who you had reason to want dead. Yes or no, is that true?
Yes.
When you found out that he was dead, what face did you make? No further questions.
Your Honor, I'd like us to proceed to closing arguments, please.
She's guilty.
Not guilty.
Members of the jury, I haven't had a good vegan cheeseburger in 6 months. I am extremely hungry. And if I have to hear about meat one more time, I may cry. So I'm asking you to give me a verdict right now by a round of applause. If you believe that this woman is guilty, please clap now. If you believe she is not guilty, please clap now. I'd like to thank you for your time. You have been found guilty and must be taken away to jail.
The offices of District Attorney Jonathan Steele and Vicki Burke.
Well, counselors, in the case of the meat psychosis, I have to say, well done.
Thank you, sir. We have a lot of chairs. Vicki, I'm sorry about that nonsense I pulled over you and Crofton. I know you're a professional.
I'm a professional. But I have to admit, it was getting to me a bit.
Tell me.
I mean, he was flirting with that witness on the stand. I got jealous.
You do have feelings for him, don't you?
Feelings, hatred, love, it's all the same, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, Vicky. Why don't we go out to dinner? I'll buy you a steak.
I ain't got porterhouse.
The end. My name is Ken Adams. I'm the artistic director of Synergy Theater, and that is
Ben Piper,
Elisa Evino,
Justin Carnes,
Adrian Bosada,
Geraldine Carolyn, Valerie Regalia, Rachel Kumar,
Adam Littleyan,
Eileen Tumlin,
Lynn Shields.
Griffin Beer,
Rastu Duraksho.
and you are the most awesome audience in the whole world. Tonight's sound and music was engineered and created by Rastu Duraksho. The set was designed and built by Eileen Tumlin and Adam Littleyan. Folks, this was the world debut of Improvised Law and Order. We've never done it before. You're the first audience to see it. Thank you so much for being here. If you had fun and you want to see us again, we have 7 more performances of the show. We're here tomorrow night, Saturday night, Sunday matinee, and then next weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday again. Come back, tell your friends. Your word of mouth is our greatest form of advertising, and we appreciate you spreading the word very, very much. If you think improv looks like fun, it really is. If you're wondering, can I do that? Yes, you can. We teach classes. I personally teach improv classes at the Walnut Creek Arts and Rec Center. Our next full 8-week session of beginning improv classes starts in March. If you're interested, go on the website of the Walnut Creek Arts and Rec Center and take a class with me in Synergy Theater. We'd love to see you there. If you enjoy podcasts, we also have a great podcast that we'd love to tell you about. It's called Improv in Practice with Synergy Theater, where we interview people who take our classes and other improv practitioners around the world, and we talk about the nexus between improv and life. It's a fascinating podcast hosted and produced by Sarah Wilson. So go ahead and take a look online and find Improv in Practice with Synergy Theater. Now, in April, we're going to be right back here again with a brand new show, and that is Improvised Dungeons and Dragons. That's the creation and directed by Adrian for us. So come on back and see that show. We'd appreciate it very, very much. On your way out, if you stop to wonder, gosh, are they a 501c3 charitable organization? The answer is yes, but wait, does that mean I can make a donation to them and they would appreciate it? The answer is yes. There's a bucket out there. If you have a couple of extra bucks and you don't mind giving it to us, we would appreciate it very, very much. If you want to write us a check and send it in the mail, there are some envelopes, and you can take that and donate to that to us that way as well. If you have a friend in the cast and you want to say hello, give us about 10 minutes. We'll be out by the stage door. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. Good night.
Sure.